Thank you, Anna. You guys are probably getting tired of my drippy stories, huh? Well, you're going to get more, because there's still a few to go. This young lady, everybody probably knows, about as much as they might know Eric Parker. She's managed to rabble-rouse in several different instances to where she made national news not once, but twice, and maybe more. We're hoping, and she's currently involved in some issues relating to the second one. Sarah Brady, for those of you that don't know, was lambasted like few people I've ever seen on social media, in the news. It was clear to me that nobody had any idea about who she was or what she was trying to do. And I've always believed in standing behind those that I believe. And Sarah was one of those people. And I'm really, really happy that Sarah took the time to be able to come today, because I want her to know publicly that I absolutely, unequivocally support who she is. I support her diligence and her ability to stand when nobody else will. And even to be a little quirky and to be able to backstep when we need to, because it shows humility of somebody that is principled in the decisions that they make. I wish the best for Sarah and her family. Her husband is a Boise cop currently, and you can imagine what all that means. But they're a solid family, and they're somebody that I support, and they're somebody that I would strongly encourage you to support. Right now, I don't know if I can say this, but she's got a donation jar over there. The Attorney General of the state of Idaho himself, I think, and she'll probably go into this, has decided to be able to take the case of the mother that went to a Meridian City Park and got arrested for having her kids play on the playground. This is where we are in America. But it's because of good women and good mothers like this, and our local legislators and all of these people. We're living in an age, ladies and gentlemen, where women are warriors for liberty. Let that sink into all of us males just for a moment. And think about biblically, historically, what that really means. We'll sit here and we preach the message of liberty on one hand. And we'll say that we want to be warriors and we want to fight for liberty. But yet it seems like I see more women in the fight than I do men. So this is a call to all of you males out there that have not been as politically active as you perhaps should be. Again, I'm not here to judge. All I'm here to say is try to be able to consider where you are and watch what some of these women are doing, because they're steadfast in their ideals and their movement toward a republic. So she's a mom of 4. She's married to a Boise police officer. She has started an organization called Vaccine Freedom Advocate, and I'd like to be able to have you guys welcome Ms. Sarah Walton Brady.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Sarah Walton Brady, and is that good? Can everyone hear me? Right on the back, I got thumbs up. So, I want to tell you how I got into politics. Because I didn't just wake up one day and go to a playground and get arrested. About 4 years ago, I was living the American dream. I had 3 kids. I was very, very, very busy. 3 different schools to shuffle into. My husband is a police officer, like Tom said, and we lived a very busy life. And I couldn't have told you at the time who the governor of Idaho was. I didn't know who my legislators were. It didn't really matter to me. And I hate to admit it, but that's just the truth. That's who I was about 4 years ago. And what kind of woke me up was something that happened in my immediate family. I'm second oldest of 10 children, born into a Mormon family, 2 good parents, and my mom was really into natural medicine and had a lot of her children at home. And my little sister Mariah ended up in the news. She was about 18 or 19 at the time, and they used her as an example, as a reason to change the faith healing law in Idaho. And the reason I got involved was Mariah's situation. She ended up having a hole in her heart that was unbeknownst to my family. And organizations were trying to use her as a victim of faith healing, which frankly was a lie. And it came as a surprise to our family that Mariah ended up having this medical condition, and very devastating. But I didn't want the media lying about what really happened. I really value the truth. And I especially didn't want a lie being used to change a law in Idaho. And so I spent quite a lot of time trying to contact legislators and organizations. And one organization basically said, it doesn't matter what you say to us, we're going to still use Mariah's story. And I thought, no, you're not. And I finally, after a lot of pushing, I went to the legislature, and they had a faith healing working group, and I was able to testify in front of them and gave the whole story. And the media and the organizations finally dropped it because they couldn't refute all the truth I had provided. So, honestly, at the time, I couldn't have told you the difference between a senator and a representative. I mean, I'm really clueless on politics. And so as time went on, I started to kind of get involved, and one thing that I kind of became passionate about was vaccine freedom. Now, I want to say right now, because I know they're going to put it in the paper, I am not an anti-vaxxer. I am a pro-vaccine safety advocate. I believe in the right to choose. And so I spent a lot of time helping parents claim a vaccine exemption for school. And never really thought that it would happen to me, but I enrolled my son in school, and 4 months later they came back to me and said, yeah, that parent signed statement that you gave us, it's not going to fly. You have to sign the statement, or the exemption form that basically says you are putting your child at risk. They extort your signature. If you don't sign that form, your kid doesn't go to school. And I said, we'll see how that goes. So on the first day of school, I brought my child and I spoke to the principal. I said, this is not okay what you're doing. You're going against the law. He said, sorry, I can't do anything. So I went to the media and I fought, and they changed their mind. My son did go to school without being forced to sign a illegal form. And I ended up on the front page of the Statesman. So I admittedly have a little bit of a history of sticking to my guns. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because I want people to understand you don't have to have had 30 years of heavy involvement to stand up for your principles. Thank you. Now, I want to talk about the infamous day at the Meridian Park. April 21st, sunny day. I had gotten an invitation to a play date. I had a picture of a child running through the grass. I thought, oh, maybe I'll go to that, maybe I won't. And I was busy trying to get my house on the market. I was painting my front door, and I sat down on my couch and popped open my computer screen, and somebody was at this play date filming it, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's a beautiful day, all the kids are here, and someone has torn the tape off the playground equipment. I thought, I want in on that. And my house is very close to this park, and I loaded my 2 of my 4 kids in the park, and I said, we're gonna go play in the park, kids. And I got there, and 5 minutes later, 3 officers show up, and I'm like, man, they're ruining the fun today. And probably everyone here has seen the video. I don't even have to rehash it. But I clearly had a problem with the park being closed when we could go to Walmart and Costco, and the picnic tables are open, and kids can sit in police cars playing, but my taxpayer paid playground is closed. And why? And you're right, I was pushing back, I was upset. My kids hadn't had a good place to play in over 6 weeks. And when the officer started counting down to me, instead of running and hiding and playing hide and go seek, my defiance got the better of me. And I said, fine, arrest me then for being in a park. Do it. How are we arresting people in playgrounds when we're letting over 400 criminals out of the Ada County Jail? And I'm the criminal? I don't know. What's happening to America? So, you know, I had a lot of people tell me what a bad mom I was for getting arrested in front of my kids. No, at this point in my life, besides teaching my children about God, that was a pinnacle moment for me to show them when to civilly disobey. And our children are going to need to know this. Our children are going to need to know, because if we can't emulate what we're trying to teach to them, do we think if we can't keep the republic, they're going to be able to? No. So I want to give, I'm thinking back 4 years ago when I was just like this little, just infant in politics, right? And I just didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't care about voting, and that's different nowadays, because now people will call me and ask me, hey, who should I vote for? And there's all kinds of questions I get all day long. And just want to give you guys some action items of things that I think that you should do to help keep our republic. One of those things is to find like-minded friends. When you have friends involved in keeping the republic, you too want to go hang out with your friends and be involved in keeping our republic. One thing also is speaking up. Now that can be hard to do, but if you're not used to doing it, one thing you can do is maybe start with Facebook, and you do a post that's maybe a little bit more controversial than you'd like to do. But here's the deal. If you can't even speak up about the truth, you're not going to be able to stand up for it when it's most important. So you really need to start practicing. It's uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable to have people push back. And I'll tell you what, I would have never, ever imagined that me standing up on that playground that day would have brought so many, many attacks. But the truth of the matter is, if you're not being persecuted or attacked for your beliefs, you're probably not doing it right. And then the last thing, well, I'm going to leave that actually for last. So my family couldn't be here. I have 2 kids that are sick. No, it's not COVID. Actually, I don't know. We refuse to be tested. But I want you to imagine my husband up here. My husband up here, an officer for almost 20 years, okay? Handsome man, loves freedom. I've got a 12-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and then a new dog. My husband thought it was a good idea to get a puppy. Who's going to take care of that if I go to jail? So, I was charged with trespassing on a public paid playground, and that carries a penalty of up to 6 months in jail, a $1,000 fine, and that's not to mention all the lawyer fees. But why is the state of Idaho, when we have people that are losing their livelihood, our economy's going down, and they're using money to persecute and prosecute someone like me, how can I be a criminal? If moms at playgrounds are criminals, you guys probably have it coming. Okay? So, one last thing. So I am taking donations for my legal fees. I have Freedom masks over there. They have really great air filters. You can breathe through them. They're only $5. It goes to a good cause. Hopefully it'll keep me out of jail. But the last thing I want to say for your action item, so the name of this rally is Freedom is the Cure. And who is the author of freedom? Jesus. Jesus is the author of freedom. And I'll tell you what, we really need to turn back to him if we're going to fight freedom for him. So thank you everyone for listening. I appreciate all of your support. It means the world to me. Thank you.